I really don't care what happens to her at all. I don't care. Like, everybody they tiptoe around with this social media, but what y'all don't get is that it be real consequence for y'all little flexes, y'all quick flexes for $300 that you need. It be consequences.
Nobody ever thought a love story like theirs could end like this, not with a single piece of paper slipped under a door like a threat disguised as a goodbye. 4 years, Teyana and Iman had been the image of a picture-perfect family, smiling wide for every camera, feeding the world just enough sweetness to drown out the quiet fights that neighbors heard through thin walls. People believed in them. The fans, the blogs, the talk shows that loved to replay their red carpet laughs like proof that true love could survive fame. But the real story was hiding in plain sight. And when the truth came knocking in the form of a sealed envelope, Teyana's screams turned that quiet lie into a war everyone would soon watch unfold like their favorite late-night drama. Behind that envelope was betrayal, pure and simple. Insiders say for weeks, Iman played his role like a pro. He'd nod and hum along when Teyana talked about co-parenting peacefully, told her they'd split holidays fairly, told her not to worry about the baby because he'd always protect both of them. But while she trusted him enough to sleep at night, he was wide awake in some lawyer's office, signing pages and pages of secrets. He didn't want a compromise. He wanted a win. He wanted the one piece of her heart that would hurt most when ripped away. Teyana didn't see it coming. Not when she threw birthday parties and posed for photos that made their broken pieces look brand new. Not when she texted him updates about school pickups and bedtime stories. Not until a stranger in a suit rang her doorbell and handed her a future she never signed up for. When she ripped that envelope open on her porch, she wasn't Teyana the celebrity anymore. She was just a mother. A mother reading words that threatened to take her baby from her arms and hand her to the man who'd promised he never would. Neighbors said they heard the scream before they saw her drop to her knees. Some peeked through blinds, whispering about the way she clawed at the pages like ripping them apart would erase the ink. She screamed his name to the empty street, hoping somehow he'd appear and say it was all just a sick joke, some twisted way of getting her attention. But he never showed. He didn't answer her calls. He didn't even give her the decency of a lie to her face. He let the envelope do the talking while he sat somewhere smug, waiting for her heartbreak to sign away her fight. It didn't take long for the world to see what the neighbors saw first. Someone's shaky phone clip made its way to a gossip page. Teyana in a hoodie, hair wild, tears streaking her cheeks as she shouted at the locked front door she'd once called their safe place. The comments came fast and cruel, some people cheering for her pain, others calling her crazy without knowing a single truth behind that cracked voice. She left voicemails. She begged him to talk, to tell her why the man who'd called her the best mom in the world would bury a knife in her back while acting like a saint for the cameras. But if he heard her, he didn't care. He ghosted her like she was just another problem to shut out. And the world, the same world that once clapped for their family Christmas photos, turned her private grief into their next headline. While she broke down in front of a world that never cared enough to ask what went wrong behind those pretty smiles, Iman sat calm behind closed doors. His people whispered to anyone who'd listen that he was forced to file in secret. That Teyana's drama and messy life gave him no choice but to strike first before she dragged his name through the dirt. He painted himself as the patient father, the good man trying to protect his child from a mother who'd lost control. He told friends she was reckless, that the glitz, the parties, the spotlight meant more to her than bedtime kisses and packed lunches. And behind that calm voice, he hinted at proof, screenshots, old messages, late-night voicemails she'd leave when her life spun out too far for him to catch her. He said he never wanted it to be ugly. He said she forced his hand. But the truth was in the timing, the quiet meetings, the cold signatures. He didn't just file for custody. He filed for revenge. Teyana knew she couldn't trust the silence anymore. She wasn't going to beg. She wasn't going to sit in her house crying at his blocked number while strangers debated if she deserved to lose her child. She lined up the interviews. She called the only lawyers who scared him more than the truth she kept buried for years. She told friends she'd saved everything. Voice notes of him screaming when the cameras were gone, text threads that started sweet and ended with threats he thought would stay hidden forever. She let the world see the cracks he tried so hard to paint over. The nights she covered bruised pride with makeup and fake smiles for the fans who thought they knew her life. She made it clear she'd fight. And when she said fight, she meant it. Every lawyer, every receipt, every tear she'd swallowed now turned into ammo meant to burn the secret saint mask right off his face. The moment the first leak hit, the internet wasted no time picking sides. Within hours, the battlefield was set, #Team Teyana and #Team Iman hashtags duked it out onto every comment section that hadn't yet gone dark. It was fast, frantic, and merciless. Meme pages took over, turning old videos of Iman praising her parenting into a twisted tapestry. One moment he was delivering heartfelt lines about fatherhood, the next she was shown screaming into darkness. Emotions raw, words chopped and remixed to create a crisis reel so dramatic it looked like a clip from a reality show finale. Suddenly, their heartbreak was entertainment. Every bit of it turned into social media fuel for bored scrollers. And there were no half-truths here. Every meme felt hyper-real, like someone had reached into their personal life and captured it. Some users believed Teyana had done this to herself, drinking too deep from the public affection well, sharing their love story so broadly it became impossible for her to contain it when things fell apart. Critics said she overshared, built their narrative into a brand, and when reality hit, it hit harder. Others blamed Iman fiercely. He was the coward, they said, the man who never had the courage to say the unthinkable face-to-face. They claimed he twisted the knife with certified premeditation, took the one thing he knew would break her. Public betrayal over private, dragging her image through gossip columns before the ink even dried on whatever split them. But here's the thing, everyone had an opinion, and none of them had the whole story. At least, not yet. Because behind every scathing tweet and shareable meme, there was another rumor, another private truth waiting behind locked screens. Friends whispered about affairs, not just random flings but hidden mistresses who slipped in and out of hotel rooms late at night. They said anything could be evidence: room service receipts, car rides at 3 a.m., credit card statements silently bearing witness. People talked about hush money too, alleged offers handed over in envelopes, promises that both lips would stay sealed. But if she ever broke that silence at the wrong time, the papers might spill and the world would know. There were stronger rumors floating around that Teyana herself had been preparing her bombshell all along. Long before Iman's legal paperwork landed in her inbox, she'd drawn a line in the sand. Some claim the whispers started when she realized no man was going to keep his promise. That the day she realized the person she'd trusted the most didn't suddenly become honest only because she asked, she began preparing for everything to come out. But here's something rumors can't hide: hope doesn't win custody battles. Lawyers do. Courtroom drama, legal savvy, evidence, those are what tip the scales. That's why Teyana's team swears she has the receipts and screenshots they need, solid ammunition ready to burn away his perfect image the moment the courtroom light turns on. They say she's been patient, she's been preparing. This isn't a stunt, it's a strategy. Now, all that remains is the waiting. On one side stands Iman's camp, tight-lipped, stone-cold, wrapped in legal statements about what's best for the child. Their message rehearsed so many times it sounds like a contract clause rather than a human whisper. They walk out to cameras with measured steps, faces blank, voices calm. Lawyers have instructed them not to speak. Anything less than chill and composed plays right into the narrative that he's a good dad in control, not a man caught in emotional crossfire. On the other side is Teyana's team, the rumor mill whisperers, the ones they call pitbull lawyers. These are the same fierce professionals who once guided another ex out of a silent settlement and weak apology tour. They didn't settle quietly. They broke it open, door by door, until it all cracked and she walked out with peace she shouldn't have had to pay so dearly for. These lawyers don't file papers, they set events in motion. The kind of legal team that brings evidence, layers in witness preparation, makes sure when their client steps in front of a judge, they don't just tell a story, they demolish every assumption in the room. Nobody's pretending this is about the child anymore. Look past the statements, the published quotes. This is about pride, retaliation, the bitter demand for who gets to speak last. The messages from Iman's people insist he's calm because he's right. They whisper that no judge will believe tears and shouts outweigh cold, hard facts. They believe the smooth power of rational speech, the discipline of emotional control, always wins in the end. But the truth? Those closest to Teyana say she knows the court of public opinion counts, too. When she stands up in that courtroom, wearing more than just her brave face, wearing every message they deleted, every threat they made in the dark, every silent phone call that dropped in the middle of the night, he won't just face a judge. He'll face her. And she'll be the storm he believed he outran. And if Teyana stands her ground, if she drags the evidence out and spells it all aloud, there won't just be a story for the court. There'll be a reckoning for every feed, every tweet, every family album they ever presented together. And in that moment, the judge's gavel will mean more than one decision. It'll be the end of a fairy tale. The storm she becomes might clear the damage she survived, but she'll make sure it stays cleared, so nothing like this can ever be hidden again. This isn't going to end with a custody settlement. It's not going to end in a few weeks or months with a tweet that says, "We tried." This ends with a reckoning, raw, public, and deeply personal. And whatever verdict comes from that courtroom, one thing's already undeniable: she's ready for the storm. And he might not be. So here we are, the world peeking through the blinds again, waiting for the next shaky clip, the next leaked voicemail, the next slip of truth that'll twist the knife a little deeper. Who do you believe? The calm dad with the secret lawyers, or the mother whose screams crack the silence wide open for everyone to see? Whose truth holds more weight, the ink on those papers or the bruises she hid for so long that people stopped asking if she was okay? Drop your truth where it can't be buried. Tell us who you think will stand taller when the judge hammers that gavel down. And if you want every piece of this story, every tear, every leaked text, every surprise witness, you know where to stay. This wasn't just paperwork. It was betrayal dressed up in court dates and polite statements. And when that door swings open, someone's perfect lie is about to get dragged out kicking and screaming into the light.